Can you talk a little bit more about what happened backstage? I mean, you kind of outlined.
Well, he complained in the ring after the fight that and there was like a little bump forming on his back of his head, and he complained about pain. The doctor said he shouldn't really do the interview. He should go to the hospital right away. Bernard, he didn't want to do that. He did want to say a few things. We cut the interview short, brought him back to the locker room. He walked back on his own. He sat on a chair. They cut off his hand wraps and everything. The paramedics were there, wanted to take him on a cart, and he refused. He stood up, wanted to put his pants on and his shirt, and he collapsed to his knees. Was on his knees for a while, got back up, still refused to be taken out on the stretcher. He said, "No, I'm not there yet. I still have to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world." And he dressed himself, put jeans on and the shirt and the shoes, and he walked out on his own to the back of the arena and went into the ambulance with his wife and his attorney Arnold Chosen.
So, what do you think? What was your impression of what happened?
Well, I think
in the ring.
You saw it in the replay. There were clearly two severe blows to the back of the head, and I think he complained as well. He told me as well in the ring that after the 6th or 7th round, he saw like spots, and he sort of like lost his balance. He didn't feel as good, and couldn't really perform the way he wanted to perform.
Were you surprised by the crowd reaction for a guy who's put in that much time? And I mean, he's a legendary fighter, and they didn't seem to accept that it was legit. They were booing him, and then Jones is off mugging for the camera and talking to people.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that, but fight fans like to see the toe-to-toe action. You saw the kind of crowd reaction Sergio Mora got with his toe-to-toe slugfest, and I think unfortunately in boxing, people seem to have forgotten a little bit that it is called as well the sweet science, and it is not just about going toe-to-toe. It is about performing an art, the sweet science, and I think Bernard Hopkins is the most crafty of all practitioners in that regard, and unfortunately I think that talent is getting a little bit lost. I was told that in the old days these kind of talents, the art of the sweet science, was probably appreciated more, but I think in today's culture with the younger audience and with some of the more brutal sports like the mixed martial arts, and so I think the sweet science, unfortunately, I think is not getting its just due anymore.
And one more thing that I want to mention tonight, this has to do with the politics of boxing. When I went around telling how good he is, of course I talked to everybody, that's my job, Top Rank, I do business with them, Golden Boy, I call David Iskowitz. I spoke to everyone. I wanted my guy to be with the best promoter in the world. But you know what I can tell you right now? It's not about the promoter, it's about the talent, and that's what we have, the true talent. And Square Ring tonight becomes the promoter of one of the best fighters in the world, and it's only a matter of time that we want to prove it to everybody. And I can tell you right now, he's ready for a world title challenge. And if Grumpy Old Man decides to stay in the business, Bernard, that's what he is to me. We'd like to take him out of business, just like David Hay did up to John Ruiz tonight. So we're ready to take on that task as well. So thank you very much.
I call Bernard Hopkins a grumpy old man. I think that's very no class at all, but I'm not surprised. If you want to go for your fight, you make these kind of statements, I think you're in the wrong business.
Excuse me, 1 second, John. Can I answer Mr. Richard Schaefer, the banker? I've been in boxing since I was 11 years old, okay? I started when I watched the Rocky movie. You know what? Sometimes boxing is about the heart, not about backing, not about... by the way, tonight you sound like a grumpy old man, so why don't we make that match Bernard Hopkins versus Ishmael Slat? I'm ready to do it. John? Can we?
Look, I do that in a second, but, I think just what Richard was saying is, let's give our respect to Bernard. I mean, he did win the fight, and You're saying I've got a fighter that will take on this guy and that can defeat him, and I respect that as well. So let's keep it above board here, and that's basically what you're doing. Is you're calling out Bernard, you're saying Ishmael would like to fight him, and I guess that's what we're saying. We'd love to, we'd accept that challenge because you as the manager are proposing that.